I'm gonna replace my window regulator on the passenger side of a C6 Corvette. It recently went out. My driver's side went out last year, and I replaced it when it went out. And now the passenger side is gone, so I got another one on eBay. And the first step is going to be you want to make sure your window is up if you can. That way everything's out of the way. Once you open up the door panel, then you're going to have the window glass in your way if you have it down. So try to have it up if possible. If not, then do what you can. First step, there's going to be a Torx right under the handle here. It's a T30 Torx in there. I already took it out just for demonstration purposes. That's one there. This is different than the driver's side, so don't think it's the same. It's different. The driver's side actually has a little panel here with like 2 mounting bolts, something along those lines. So this one has one here, and the other one is hidden behind this little guy. So using proper tools, or whatever you can find that's not going to tear the crap out of it, take this out. This whole button will come out, and there's going to be a little Torx bolt behind that. So let me take that off. And all right, so using a flat blade screwdriver, very carefully without tearing it up too much, I just put it down here and pry it up. There's your button, and there you go. There's your little your hidden mounting bolt. So this is different than the driver's side, so don't try to rip the door panel off without taking this off. You're going to do some damage. So I'm going to take that off, and then we'll be able to remove the door panel. The way I'm going to do that, I'm not going to be able to video it because I need to have 2 hands to do it. Just kind of work your way around the edges. Starting from the bottom, probably the easiest. There's a little place to put your fingers or like a prying tool in here underneath. Start prying, and basically there's those little Christmas tree things around the edge. It's going to make a shitload of noise, but just kind of pull, work your way around, pull, work your way around. And then this is on like a hinge type deal, so you have to, at this point, you lift up. Once you pull these out, you lift the door panel up and then disconnect it. So once you disconnect it, obviously you won't be able to roll up and down your window. So that's why it's good to just go ahead and do that now before you disconnect everything. All right, so once I removed the bolt that was in there, connects to that, we now have the door panel off, and you will see the connector. So what you're gonna do here is, on this purple piece, you lift it up basically, and it kind of unlocks it, and then you should be able to pull it apart. Just be careful with it not to break it. It's pretty fragile. And then you're gonna remove the speaker. That's pretty self-explanatory. It's 4 bolts, and then this one connector here. Then you have some of this sound deadening material type stuff. Once you pull that away, then you'll be able to see all the window regulator and window parts and everything. All right, door panel's off. Remove the connector here. Now it's time to take the speaker off. So there's 4 bolts, like I said earlier. Well, I have the Bose system on mine, so I'm not sure about the ones that don't have the Bose, but I'm assuming they'd probably be the same size socket and everything. So what I got here is 7mm. That's going to remove those 4, and then I'm going to disconnect that and move on to the next. I got the speaker removed using those 4 bolts there, and the little clip. Took that off. Came right out. Next thing after that is you have this plastic protective type. It's like a tacky like tape. It's almost like a sound deadening material also. Anyways, start pulling that off. So you're gonna have access points like here, here. I've pulled these off over here. So you got a bolt there, or nut, And here is the window track. So that's what right there, that's the clamp that actually holds the glass onto the window regulator. So what we're going to end up doing is, I have a Sharpie. We're going to mark on the glass kind of on either side of this bracket here, so that way when I reinstall it, we're going to know exactly where the glass goes in relation to the bracket. So that way you're not having to readjust and readjust. So just go ahead and mark it before you take it loose. And then there's another one over here. See the other one? Take this over here and take this off. So we'll mark it there, and then we'll take the glass out so it's out of our way, and then we can start actually removing the regulator itself. Mounting bolts here. There's one. We'll get a flashlight here. There's one that goes under the door. So if you look right here, there's a rubber grommet type thing. So you take that out to gain access to the nut there. And then there's going to be another nut right here. So once you take all that out, then you should be able to take the regulator out and start putting the new one back in. And removing these guys here, it's going to be a 10 millimeter. That's what fits for me. It seems like it's good enough. So that's what I'm going to be using. So I'm going to take that off and get this off. And I found out that this is a 13. I forgot to add that in earlier. So 10 millimeter for your window regulator, and then your thing holding the glass, that is a 13. So you can remove that, loosen that, and loosen that. You don't have to remove it, you just have to loosen it. We've got the glass removed. I just want to show you kind of what we're looking at here. So because this grime and all this shit that's on here, you can see where they can't kind of see. You can see where the bracket was holding the glass. You can also see where I made my marks with the Sharpie. This has a little black thing on it. I haven't seen that before, but that looks like some kind of marker of some sort. So I guess I didn't really need the Sharpie on that one. But you know, just in case kind of thing. So it makes life a little easier in case there is any kind of markings, or your glass is actually a little cleaner. You have a newer car maybe than my 10-year-old car. But that's what we're working with now. So we got the glass out, and now I'm gonna actually take the regulator. Okay. Everything's disconnected. I'm gonna show you a little one of these clips here before y'all break it. So mounting bolt here, nut, one here, and then there's that one that's underneath the door after you remove this little grommet. They're all the same size. They're all 10 millimeter. So I'm gonna swap it out. Okay, so now on the motor itself, the electrical connection to it, I pulled it over here so you can actually see. But when you're taking all this crap out, bring it out over here. This is a much bigger hole than the speaker hole. I just pulled it over here just for educational purposes on this clip. So this is what we're looking at here. So unless you know what you're doing, don't start prying out with a screwdriver. So the way this one works is all you do is you pull this out, this little piece, pull this way. Try to do this with one hand here. So you pull it out like that, it releases it, and then you remove it. So after looking at my old window regulator, it appears, the way this is bent here, kind of frayed and stuff on the plastic. I think that it might have come out of, it sits right here. I think it might have come out, maybe started these problems. No way to tell for sure. But another thing to look at is here at the motor, the cable is supposed to go in here. It's supposed to go in that little track. Well, you can see it's all bundled up in there. If you actually take this apart, you can expose it, but I don't really care and I don't really want to. I can see it from here. And it also sounds like crap, so you can hear just the wire grinding in there when you try to go up and down. The window doesn't really do anything. So what happens is this thing gets tangled up in there and doesn't know which way it wants to go. So that's why we're replacing it. On this connector, as I was showing you earlier, when you pull this out, as you pull it out, it kind of pushes itself away from the motor. It kind of pulls itself off. So kind of just with two hands, kind of use one hand to kind of pull this a little bit, give it slight tension, and then pull this outward, and it's going to kind of work itself off. And it helps you out. It's pretty easy to get off. So now I'm gonna do a little cleanup on this door. It's got a bunch of grime in there, and then we're gonna start putting the new regulator back in. Once you're ready to get your new regulator in, well, here's my old one, but I'm gonna demonstrate with it. Kind of lay it out in a fashion to where this is the way it's gonna go inside the door. So you know you're up from down by looking at these clamps that holds the glass. So that's up. That's up. So it goes in a crisscross pattern, as you probably saw when we took the other one out. And then your motor kind of sits, so if you were laid out, it's kind of hard to do now, but the motor kind of sits, if this was straight up and down, the motor kind of sits at this angle. When it's in the door, it's probably a little bit more clockwise, but probably sitting more like that. Just kind of lay it out so you know what you're looking at, and then just grab it and fish it into the hole here. Start lining everything up, which I just now put it in. I haven't completed it. I just put it in where all the mounting holes are in, where they need to go, and then I've got the motor. I got the bolts, the nuts put on the bolts for the motor, so that way it's not falling out when I'm trying to do the rest of it. So I just kind of put them in there loosely so it holds it. Now I'm going to finish putting the rest of the mounting bolts on, here, and then tighten everything down, and then we'll get to the glass. All right, so I got everything bolted up. Everything's tightened up. Got this one, the one that's on the bottom of the door, and that one. We're plugged in. Everything looks to be straight and aligned. So now we're ready to put the glass in, get it set up on these clamps, and then clamp it down. All right, so I slid the glass in from the top, and you kind of shimmy it down this way. Get these aligned to how they were, and tighten everything down. All right, so once you get the glass in, everything bolted up. What you can do before you button everything up, put the door panel back on, you can close the door. Make sure the harness is out of the way, you don't want to break it. Close the door, go to the driver's side, and try to manipulate the window and make sure everything goes up and down as it should. You may notice that if you don't close the door, it will only go up part of the way, like half the way. So make sure the door's closed, go to the driver's side, go all the way up, all the way down. Once you get all the way up, I've been told to hold the switch up for about 3 seconds to reset the window, and then go down and do the same thing. So that way it opens and closes correctly when you open and close the door. Does the gap there, and it drops down. And everything looks good. So now we put the speaker in, put the door panel on, and everything's done.